What if the very food you thought was safe in your fridge was quietly increasing your risk of cancer? Most of us trust our refrigerators to keep our food fresh and our bodies safe. But here's a truth many seniors aren't told. Some foods can actually become more dangerous when stored in the fridge. Especially over time. As we get older, our bodies process toxins differently. What might pass through a younger person with little effect can build up in our system and quietly harm us. This means a single habit, like keeping certain items chilled, can work against our health in ways we'd never expect. This isn't about scaring you. It's about protecting you. If you're between 55 and 80, your health is your greatest asset. And sometimes the smallest changes in daily routines can have the biggest impact. I've seen far too many friends who thought they were eating safe food, only to learn later that their habits were slowly damaging their bodies. In this article, we'll explore 5 common foods you should never store in the fridge because they can become harmful, sometimes even cancer-causing, over time. Some of these may surprise you because they've been in your fridge for years without a second thought. But knowing the truth now could be the key to preventing long-term damage and keeping you healthier for years to come. Stay with me until the end, because the last one is the most unexpected of all. 1. Processed smoked meats. Processed smoked meats like bacon, ham, and sausages are often beloved comfort foods, especially when they remind us of family breakfasts or holiday gatherings. But when these meats are stored in the fridge for long periods, particularly in the cold, slightly damp environment that most fridges create, they can quietly turn into a health risk. The smoking process, combined with preservatives like nitrates and nitrites, can lead to the formation of nitrosamines over time. These are harmful compounds that have been linked to various cancers, especially in the digestive tract. While these meats may look and smell fine, the danger is in what you cannot see or taste. One of the challenges for older adults is that our bodies become less efficient at repairing cell damage. That means toxins like nitrosamines can do more harm, and it takes longer for our system to recover from their effects. What's more, seniors often rely on reheating leftovers or slicing from the same package of bacon or ham over several days. Each time that package is opened and closed, a little more moisture and oxygen enter, giving harmful compounds a better chance to develop. I remember my friend Harold, who's 72, telling me about how he used to keep a family-size pack of smoked sausage in the fridge for weeks. It was convenient, especially since he lived alone and only cooked small portions at a time. But after a conversation with his doctor, who explained the risks of long-stored processed meats, Harold changed his routine. Now he buys smaller portions and freezes what he won't use within a few days. He told me he still enjoys the taste, but he feels better knowing he's protecting his health. The key, if you love these foods, the key isn't to banish them forever, but to handle them wisely. Buy in small amounts, store them for no more than a few days in the fridge, and freeze the rest right away. When you do thaw them, use them promptly. It's a small shift, but for seniors, it can make a big difference in lowering the risk of long-term harm while still enjoying the flavors that bring back good memories. 2. Certain leftover cooked rice. Leftover rice might seem harmless. After all, it's just a grain we've eaten our whole lives, and it's easy to reheat and serve alongside almost anything. But here's the problem. When cooked rice is not cooled properly before going into the fridge, or when it sits there for more than a day or two, it can become a hidden danger. Rice can carry spores from a bacteria called Bacillus cereus. These spores survive cooking, and when rice cools slowly or is stored improperly, they can multiply and produce toxins. Even worse, in damp fridge conditions, rice can develop mold that creates aflatoxins, potent substances linked to liver cancer. You can't always see them, and you certainly can't taste them, which makes them especially tricky. For seniors, the risk is greater because our immune systems tend to be less resilient. A younger person might recover quickly from mild food poisoning, but for older adults, It can trigger serious complications or long-term health damage. The other issue is portion size. Many of us cook enough rice for several meals, thinking it will save time. But in reality, keeping rice for days in the fridge can be an invitation for these toxins to grow quietly. The safest approach: cool cooked rice quickly by spreading it out in a thin layer before refrigerating. And eat it within 1 to 2 days. If you won't finish it that quickly, freeze it immediately after cooling. That way, you can still enjoy rice with your meals without giving dangerous toxins a chance to build up. Blank. Blank. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Blank. 3. Mold-prone soft cheeses. Soft cheeses like brie, camembert, and certain blue cheeses can be a delight for the taste buds. But they are also one of the riskiest items you can keep in your fridge for too long. Especially for seniors, these cheeses are high in moisture, and that creates an environment where bacteria and mold thrive. Even under refrigeration, dangerous microorganisms such as listeria can grow. Listeria is particularly concerning because it can survive and multiply in cold temperatures. Unlike many other bacteria, for older adults whose immune defenses may not be as strong as they once were, listeria infection can lead to serious illness, hospitalization, or worse. What's more, mold on soft cheese isn't always visible right away. Sometimes the contamination starts deep inside, and by the time you see a fuzzy spot on the surface, toxins could already be present throughout the entire block. These mold toxins, known as mycotoxins, have been linked to long-term health problems, including cancer. And because the texture of soft cheese allows mold to spread quickly and invisibly, cutting off a small piece where mold is visible won't necessarily make it safe again. The safest way to indulge is to buy only what you plan to eat within a few days. And keep them tightly wrapped in wax paper or parchment, then in a sealed container. Avoid storing them right next to strong-smelling foods, as soft cheeses absorb odors easily, which can also signal that the quality is deteriorating. Most importantly, if there's any sign of mold growth beyond what's naturally part of the cheese's intended appearance, it's time to let it go. 4. Nitrate-preserved cold cuts. Cold cuts. Those neatly sliced deli meats we reach for when we want a quick sandwich, might seem harmless when kept in the fridge. In fact, many people believe that as long as the meat is cold, it's safe. But nitrate-preserved deli meats like salami, bologna, and certain types of ham can quietly become a health hazard over time. Even when stored properly, nitrates and nitrites are used to keep the meat looking fresh and to prevent bacterial growth. But under certain conditions, they can transform into nitrosamines, compounds linked to cancer, particularly in the digestive tract. The danger increases when these meats sit in the fridge for days or weeks after opening. Exposure to air, fluctuating temperatures from the door opening and closing, and natural breakdown of the meat all make it more likely that harmful compounds will form. For seniors, whose bodies may be less able to repair damaged cells, the long-term consumption of nitrosamine-containing foods can have even more serious consequences. The safest approach. If you enjoy cold cuts, the safest approach is to buy them in small quantities from a reputable deli counter, rather than pre-packaged varieties that may have been stored for weeks before you even purchased them. Keep them in the coldest part of your refrigerator, not the door, and eat them quickly after opening. And when you can, consider replacing them with freshly cooked, sliced meats from your own kitchen, which avoid the preservatives altogether. Blank. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Blank. Underscore. Blank. 5. Pickled foods with artificial colors. Pickled foods often bring back warm memories. Maybe a jar of bright green pickles on the table at summer cookouts. Or tangy, colorful peppers in a relish tray during the holidays. But some store-bought pickled items can be more harmful than you realize. Especially when they contain artificial colors and certain preservatives. These synthetic dyes like yellow 5 or red 40 may look harmless in that cheerful brine. But they can leach into the food over time. Combined with acidic vinegar, the chemical stability of these dyes can break down, producing byproducts that are linked in studies to cellular damage and possible cancer risk over long periods. For seniors, the danger isn't just the dyes themselves. Many of these products also contain sodium benzoate or other preservatives, which can react with vitamin C in the food to form benzene, a known carcinogen. This reaction can be made worse if the pickled food sits in your refrigerator for months after opening. As the chemical interactions continue in the acidic, moist environment, and because pickles often taste the same, regardless of how long they've been stored, it's easy to overlook the risk. How to enjoy them safely? It's best to look for brands that use natural coloring from sources like turmeric, beet juice, or paprika, instead of synthetic dyes. Always check the label for artificial colors and preservatives. And once opened, try to consume them within a few weeks. If you make your own pickles, you have the added benefit of controlling every ingredient and avoiding unnecessary chemicals altogether. Final thoughts. As we get older, the little choices we make every day begin to carry more weight, sometimes quite literally when it comes to what we keep in our refrigerators. The foods we've talked about today may seem harmless, even familiar, but when they sit too long in cold storage, the changes that happen aren't always visible. Chemicals can quietly break down, toxins can slowly form, and what was once considered safe can become a silent threat to your health. I know it can be hard to let go of certain foods, especially those tied to memories and routines. But your health and longevity are worth more than holding on to something that could harm you. Each time you choose to remove or replace one of these risky foods, you're not just making a dietary decision, you're protecting your body, your energy, and your future days. Think of your refrigerator as more than just a place to store food. It's an extension of your well-being, a space that should hold items that nourish and strengthen you, not threaten your health. Taking a few extra minutes to check labels, look for expiration dates, and clear out questionable items can make a real difference in how you feel and how you age. You've worked too hard, lived through too much, and built too many beautiful moments to have your health undermined by what's sitting behind a cold door in your kitchen. Choose foods that support you, not ones that silently chip away at your strength. Small steps today can save you from big problems tomorrow. And that's a trade worth making every time.